Welcome to the Veterans Voice, where we highlight programs and services that benefit our veterans. I'm Tim Stroud, and I'm your host. It's February, which means it's almost spring in Texas, and it's time to start making plans for outside. We're joined by someone who believes in the healing power of being outside. It's Neil Mullaney, and he's the CEO of Heroes on the Water. Thanks for joining us, Neil.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Neil, love your voice already, and pardon the pun, but we're going to dive in right to your program. For those who haven't joined you on or in the water, let's give an overview of what your program does.
Yeah, well, I appreciate the opportunity. So, Heroes on the Water is a nonprofit that serves veterans, their families, and first responders and their families. And the way we do it is by helping people achieve the best versions of themselves through outdoor activities. And the modality that we use is kayak fishing. So we have two programs. We have a therapeutic program and a volunteer-led program. We have about 70 chapters across the country between these two programs. About 60 of these are volunteer-led, just as the title states. They're 100% led by volunteers, and we're spread out from California to the East Coast.
Most people, believe it or not, they don't know the difference between a kayak and a canoe, whether it's one person, two person. You guys drop them in off of helicopters. Let's get down to the basics and explain what kayaking is.
Yeah, so kayak, especially fishing kayaks, are a very safe platform. They're a little bit wider than normal kayaks. They're much more stable than a canoe. And it gives us the opportunity to put veterans and their families out on the water so that they can experience the healing powers of Mother Nature and just the time that you get to spend, with your family and recreational activities.
And for those who've never been in a kayak, you can kayak just about anywhere. You can practice in your pool. And I grew up in New Madrid, Missouri on the Mississippi River. And I remember we had some Canadians that made it all the way down the mighty Mississippi and stopped in our little farming community of New Madrid, Missouri. And they showed us all of the dry goods and everything that they had in their kayaks. And they made it all the way down to the Delta. So that being said, what kind of footprint does you and your organization have?
Yeah, so we have, as I stated earlier, between the two different programs, we have 70 chapters spread across the country.
Wow.
And as you mentioned, the technology or, the quality of the kayaks in this day and age is just so much better than when you and I were younger, to where we can put, they have all the bells and whistles these days. We have pedaled kayaks, you have motorized kayaks. So really, with the abilities to put the different accoutrements on these kayaks, we can help anyone out on the water so that they can experience, as I stated, the healing powers of Mother Nature.
Neil, what do you mean our age? I'm only 35. How did you think I was? Up here. I am up here. I mean, and you said motorized kayaks, right?
Yeah, they actually have, the fishing industry, the kayak fishing industry has really just blown up. And so they'll actually put little trolling motors on kayaks now to where you can get further, your own body is no longer the limitation to how far you can take a kayak.
That is inspiring. I'm going to stay as long as that human power can take me out. Anything for adaptive means for our veterans that are mobility challenged?
Absolutely. We have not only the safety equipment, but we take the precautions that we have had people that are missing limbs, arms and legs. We've had people that are in braces and so forth. So we have everything that we need to make sure that we can get people out on the water safely and let them just enjoy themselves.
Some people will polar bear plunge in December or January. I'm not one of them. So, but does that pose any limitations on your program? Are you seasonal? Are you year round? What's going on, Neil?
Well, Mother Nature has a way of, putting her say into your plans, if you will. So, there are parts of the country that, the actual on water time is seasonal. But what we do in those areas is we have some off water activities in order to keep our participants engaged. We have everything from teaching people how to tie their own fly to building their own rod. So we are seasonal fishing, but we are a year-round organization.
That's great news. I'm really interested in, of connecting with you and your team from Stay Tuned, our charity with the flies, because there's a Bass Pro Shop just about in every large city, and we want to partner with them of doing those classes. And I'll talk with you offline of doing that one.
Yeah,
And
I'd be happy to connect with you.
that sounds great. And if you've done any work in the nonprofit field, you know that the state and federal funding are looking for three things: data. What's that other thing? Oh, yeah, it's data. And so you and your team have come together with a study to look at the effects and successes of your program. Would you care to share those?
Yeah, absolutely. So what we did is we partnered with Texas State University, a PhD behavioral scientist, Dr. Shelby Sharp, because what we wanted to do is, when you're a nonprofit, you have to ask people for money, and we wanted to make sure that if we were taking donors' money, that we were actually accomplishing what we said we were doing. And so we started this study. We're in our third year now. We call it Operation Early Impact, where we are really taking a deep dive into the effects of kayak fishing that they have on people. And we really worked on, three primary areas being stress management, personal efficacy, and then just, your personal mindfulness. And the results have been just truly astonishing. We have hit right at about 90% in each of those three areas where people think that our programs are helping them achieve their best versions of themselves.
You mentioned that a couple times, Neil, your best version of yourself. And I think that is amazing. I was blessed with a mentor, Paul J. Meyer, and he told me 1%. All you're looking is to be 1% better version of yourself tomorrow than you were today. And it seems like you guys and gals are doing just that. And for our veterans and family members who are looking forward to getting on the water with you, what's the eligibility and how do they sign up?
Yeah, it's not like that we restrict it to those that have some kind of, traumatic diagnosis from their service. We are open to any veteran and their family and first responders and their family. You do not need to have any skills. You don't need to have any equipment. You don't need to have a lunch because we're going to feed you if you come out with us.
That sounds great. And just like here in the studio, we have people doing tons of stuff behind the scenes. Stacy's running things remotely while Jim is here in the studio. And you and your team also need those people to volunteer. How do they get started with you?
Yeah, if they could just go to our website, just www.heroesonthewater.org. There's a link for you to get in contact with us. We would love to have you either come out and volunteer or come out and participate. When you're dealing with a nonprofit with outdoor activities like ours, we need three things. We need volunteers, we need participants, and we need donors. And so if you have a heart for any one of those, we would love to connect with you.
Thank you, Neil. Appreciate your time today. And after the break, we're going to learn how one organization is working to make sure veteran families get the mental health care they need.
Welcome to online education at Houston Community College, where you can earn your degree from anywhere and at any time. It's the most convenient way to attend college, whether from home, work, or on the go. With digital communications, you can connect with your faculty and fellow students without leaving home. And with new metaverse technology, we bring learning to life. With over 60 fully online certificates and degree programs, HCC Online College takes you to the next level. So whether you're just out of high school or a working adult, HCC Online College supports you on your unique journey towards a new career and a better life. To learn more, visit hccs.edu/online.
Welcome back to the Veteran's Voice. Military service places unique stresses on individuals and families. Sometimes mental health care in the civilian sector simply isn't familiar with those stresses. Family Service Center provides support for people who know what it's like to have been there through its HEROES program. Kresenda Foreman, Director of Community Relations, joins us with more. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Oh, okay. Every time I hear heroes, I always think about the hero's pose.
Absolutely.
Is that what you start with?
And actually on our brochure, we have like one of the heroes, but he's saluting as well.
Oh, I love that. And through Toastmasters, it's one of the, you have to put yourself in a position of power to where you can move forward. So I love that.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about the program.
So the Heroes Program, we are a Family Service Center. We have many different programs under our services. And so FSC, we provide counseling, we provide education, we provide prevention services for anything you may need. So with Heroes, what we do is our program is designed to address diagnosis and conditions to improve quality of life. And so what we want to do is make it a success for you to integrate within a community.
When people hear about a new program, one of the things that zips to their mind, same with mine, is like, okay, what is this going to cost? So let's talk about the cost of the program and then things that family members and veterans may incur.
Yeah, so with the Heroes Program with Family Service Center, we are grant funded. So everything is totally free. And it is provided for veterans, their spouses, surviving spouses, children, and dependents.
Okay. And within the Heroes program, let's dive down a little bit deeper. What are the two main parts of the Heroes program and what services are provided in those?
Yeah, so the two main parts of the Heroes program is the clinical counseling and the peer support. So with the clinical counseling, we do include support for PTSD, mood disorders, if you're having family or relationship issues, anything of that nature, that's what we focus on. And also with the peer support, we actually have, it kind of looks like with our director, I would say Mr. Harris and Miss Brittany, they actually do peer support groups where they can talk to the family or individual and give them the services that they need with the group setting. Or Mr. Harris, he worked for the VA before. And so he's able to actually direct everyone into the right path and what else they need help with. So it's kind of like you get everything that you need within this service because he has that knowledge within the VA system as well. And also you have others as well that have that knowledge too. And you get the counseling services that you need.
I love that. And with it being a virtual world and everything digital these days, I'm sure there's different ways of connecting because there's a saying in the fourth largest city in the United States, quickly to be the third, is that Houston is an hour away from Houston. So what areas in the greater Houston area are you currently serving?
So the areas that we're currently serving right now is the Harris County, Fort Bend County, Brazoria County, Chambers County, Liberty County, and Galveston County. And so even if you can't make it to a certain destination, we do have telehealth as well too.
Okay, so this would be great for those who are a little bit remote or a little skeptical. Not everybody is as bubbly and outgoing. They're like, okay, bald guy, let's tap the brakes a little bit. I need to take baby steps for my healing. And it's part of the Military Veteran Peer Network and other groups that I've worked with in the past, Easter Seals of Greater Houston, is that each day of just going a step further. And sometimes even if you're going to fall, just fall forward so you're doing something positive. So let's walk veterans and their family members through. So what's step one? How do they connect with you? And then where do they go from there?
Well, I wanted to just speak on what you just said.
Okay.
I'm actually a veteran myself as well. And
Thank you. Which branch?
Navy.
Oh, that counts.
Yes.
I know that Army-Navy game, you kind of got us on that last one.
But with my experience, you are correct about having to actually take those steps forward. I know before the Heroes program, I went through my situation and having to get my VA assistance the way that I did. It was very stressful. And so with seeing people that are actually within this program that can actually help us and guide you the right direction and can actually be that extra push that you need, that is just amazing to me. And so we have 2 office locations. We have one in Galveston and we have one in the Texas City area as well. So that's Galveston County. But also we do, like I said earlier, telehealth. Also, you can meet at a TVC office as well, Texas Veteran Commission's office. They do allow a space in certain areas where we are able to go and give these services. Whenever you call and make that appointment and do your intake, you'll be able there try to figure out which best is closest to you that they can meet you at.
That is excellent news. I know retired Colonel Tom Palladino, who runs the TVC, he loves to do collaborative works. And that's one of the things that I want to make sure that we're doing with your office as well and your team members. I'm going to connect you with Jay Kopic with Serve. Are you familiar with them?
Yes, I'm familiar with them.
Okay, yeah, they meet once a month and really just go into programs and make sure that there's a little bit more than just the surface. I mean, we've talked with one of our last veteran service organizations on the water. Going to dive down a little bit more and make sure that we're seeing what's underneath the water, of having that no wrong door approach. So if they come to you and like, I need some mental health services. Do they need financial services, support members, or support for their family members? And then what are they doing for respite care?
Right.
I mean, there's such thing as caregiver fatigue, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Well, tell us a little bit more about the program. We've got about a minute left. And so especially for our women veterans, and if they're just a little trepidatious of moving forward, what would your encouraging words be today?
I would say my encouraging words is to just do it. You worked hard for it. You deserve it. And I would also say at the same time, just keep pushing. It's worth it. And so I was one who did not want to push forward with anything dealing with my mental health at all. But I would say it's a blessing that I have been able to receive services that I have received before. And so take that chance. It's free. Why not?
Right. It's scary sometimes. It's kind of, you go into mental health resources or any resources for military. It's kind of like going to the club and hold on. I am too old for the club, but it's like going to a dance hall or a club or the rodeo, which is coming up. You don't want to be the person that walks in by themselves and looking around. You want that battle buddy to walk them through. And so guys, gals, you got a great battle buddy right here that's going to walk you through it. And so thank you for joining us on the show today. And after the break, we're going to get all dressed up with career gear.
Welcome to online education at Houston Community College, where you can earn your degree from anywhere and at any time. It's the most convenient way to attend college, whether from home, work, or on the go. With digital communications, you can connect with your faculty and fellow students without leaving home. And with new metaverse technology, we bring learning to life. With over 60 fully online certificates and degree programs, HCC Online College takes you to the next level. So whether you're just out of high school or a working adult, HCC Online College supports you on your unique journey towards a new career and a better life. To learn more, visit hccs.edu/online.
Welcome back to the Veteran's Voice. Whether you spent just a few years or a good portion of your career in the military looking good for work in the civilian sector, it's different. Fortunately, there's an organization focused on getting veterans ready for what's next. We're joined by Career Gear Greater Houston Executive Director, Jamay Schardien. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Tim. I appreciate you having me.
You are most welcome. This is so heartfelt for me because one of the first organizations I volunteered with when I came to Houston was Career Gear in the old location. And I got to
Yes.
suit up two people, and I just got goosebumps, Jamay. It was
Yeah.
so wonderful because she had two different programs at that point, one for veterans that had gone through the system, and then the other one has gone through the military system. And we always talk about it all the same. It's like, how many years did you do? I was in the Army 7 years. We always make it sound like a prison sentence. But I got to suit these gentlemen up for success because Jamay schooled me and walked me through on how to properly size one up and get the materials they need. But
Yeah.
it's one of those programs, and I'm definitely going to put a challenge to when we're done. For those who don't know what I'm talking about, Jamay, let's
Yeah.
get it up.
Come experience it. It's an amazing experience. One of our board members calls it the Cinderella effect. When we have a client that comes in, a lot of times with our veterans specifically, they've never worn a suit. They've had a uniform. And so we have the blessing and the opportunity to put them in their very first civilian suit, and make sure that they have all the pieces that go with that, teach them how to tie their tie, how to wear it. And then a lot of them are like, well, is this my new uniform? Yeah, this is your new uniform on the civilian side. Absolutely.
You know what? He got that phrase from Jerry Lewis. He was in a show called Cinderella, and Jerry so he loved TV so much he would not say TV. He always said television. So you can go back and check all of those. And he just had such a reverence for what was going on. And he used humor and humility. And those are some of the same elements that you use as career gear. So let's talk about eligibility and what happens when they walk through the doors of your brand new building.
Yes, we're so blessed with a brand new building. So when a veteran comes in, typically they're transitioning out of the military, and that can be, 2 weeks or 2 years, just depending on what that transition has looked like for them. And they're going to come in and take our Mission Possible Veteran Transitional class, which, Tim, of course, you've come in and taught on LinkedIn and elevator pitches and those types of things in the past. But we want to make sure holistically the veterans are ready for employment. And so everything that we do focuses on career readiness. So we want to make sure that their resume is reading intangible results, that they remove acronyms, those types of things that sometimes, because veterans speak that language, becomes kind of that normal thing where there's acronyms on their resume or just in their communication on a daily basis where someone from the civilian side wouldn't necessarily understand when they say MOS, that is like your job description in the military, right? And so we really work on breaking down those institutionalization barriers that are created when you serve in the military. And then we're going to make sure that they can complete an interview. So interview now, again, being a positive word, right? Not an interrogation like that word is used in the military. But now when you have an interview, it's actually a positive thing. So making sure they can sit and do an interview. And then last but definitely not least, making sure that they can network. So knowing how to shake hands and kiss babies, making sure that they can introduce themselves, 30-second elevator pitch. We've learned that people hire people who they know, like, and trust. And so we want to make sure all of our veterans are comfortable being in a room with people. If they're at a networking event, if they're at a luncheon like we do with Warrior for Life, they can meet people, introduce themselves, and get to that point of being someone who's known, liked, and trusted.
Jermaine, that's sage advice, and going through your program as well as helping out along the way has really done volumes for me along the way. Toastmasters has been a great help. I'm a huge advocate for those who have served to clean up their language. It's not all blue humor, but as you said, the acronyms of saying "hua," those are great when you're around the fire and you're smoking and joking. But when you're in a corporate setting, at least for the interview, I need to see some spit and polish, right? So let's talk about how veterans access the services and what's the first step.
Sure. So very simple. We try to eliminate every barrier to our clients getting to the services that they need. So anybody who's interested in our services can simply go out to our website, careerhouston.org. Under programs, they can click that veteran link and access all of our veteran programs there. And that's going to include the transitional workshop, After our clients complete that transitional workshop, they're going to receive 2 interview suits. So they're going to get a navy blue suit and a charcoal gray suit, because those are the colors that we want to use for interviewing. They're going to receive dress shirts, ties, dress shoes, any of those things that they need. We've worked on the mental, right, and preparing them from a soft skills perspective. So we also want to prepare them from a physical perspective, hence the name Career Gear. And so we want to make sure that they, walk into that interview feeling confident, that their appearance, we only get one chance to make that first impression. So we want to make sure that when they walk in, that appearance is where it needs to be to make a good first impression. Very easy, again, to access resources. Just go straight to our website. We host a class every month. Our next class is actually coming up this Friday, February 7th. And I believe we still have a couple more seats. So any veteran that are in need of coming in and taking that class, they're definitely able to do that. We also keep a calendar of the next class on the website. So anytime you're ready to come in and start down this career path, we welcome you to come in through the doors of Career Gear.
Jamay, those doors are also open for volunteers, and some people watching this may be thinking, well, I didn't serve. I don't know what to do, but you didn't serve. You're executive director. You want to tell them how being military adjacent is also a great thing?
Absolutely. So coming from a military family, when I first came into Career Gear, I didn't quite understand the transition and the struggles that our veteran were facing. My father is a Vietnam Marine, and I didn't see those struggles with him, and maybe even like my grandmother who served, or my uncle who served, or my brothers who served. It wasn't until I got to Career Gear 10 years ago now that I really started seeing the struggle with that transition. And so I like to say that this is how I serve. I serve by serving those who served. My son went into the military fresh out of high school, and even now he's home now, and helping him through that transition has been kind of that same piece where I feel like this was the path, right? And you're learning so many different things, and now in a place to serve, to even provide services and be there to support my son as he went through. So I love what we do. I love the fresh start that we're able to give a veteran and helping them. We know that gainful employment is very crucial to getting that suicide rate down and finding their next purpose in life. And so we take everything that we do very, very seriously. We understand the importance of the service that we're providing, and really just love to continue to serve and do as much as we can, partnering with big events like Stand Down, and other organizations and nonprofits is really important to us as well. Very collaborative organization.
Thank you, Jamay. I know you're very passionate about your purpose. And if you would like any more information on the organizations and services you've seen on the program today, visit our website at hccs.edu/Veterans Voice. To listen to a podcast version of the show, visit hccs.edu/podcast. For everyone here at HCC TV, and stay tuned. Thank you for watching.